Everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Amos, and I'm one of the consultants here at AIMS. We will be showing a short video on our company before I start on today's topic on APR, on Australian Migration Program and Canada Migration Program.
Today, I thought I'd show you guys what an Aussie Christmas actually looks like. Let's go. This is how we do Christmas in Australia, here on the beach. What a lot of people don't realise is that Christmas Day here lands smack bang in the middle of summer, which means it's hot. In fact, here in Adelaide, which is where I grew up, it's not uncommon for the temperature to reach around 40 degrees Celsius. That's around 104 Fahrenheit, which means all of the activities we're going to do today are summer-based. In fact, some people are out doing them already.
Skating is an option, but so is swimming, surfing, beach cricket, and just generally laying around in the ocean.
But right now, it's probably too early in the day for all that. Now, after exchanging some gifts with the family this morning, I've got a Brock family brunch to go to. So let's go there now. Oh, is this your little organic plate? Oh, lovely. Thank you. You having a good Christmas?
Now, I'd love to dispel the myth that Australia doesn't have scary spiders or anything, but my cousin delights in proving it is actually so.
Okay, see ya. Thanks very much for having us.
You're very welcome.
The afternoon has well and truly arrived, which means one thing: it's time for the beach.
Typically, this is my favourite part of the day because it means in between bouts of just chilling on the beach, you can sip something bubbly like a kombucha or a champagne or a beer, and when a Christmas present looks this good, you know you're going to have a really good time. We're about to take a ski out, we're just trying to work out some knots and shit, but we're having issues with the dog not wanting to leave us. Charlie, go inside. Go inside. Charlie, pretty girl. Oscar's up already. We are kind of worried a little bit about like shark activity because there are so many sharks here. As long as we're quick, right? Let's go again. Woo! I'm not sure if Oscar's going to be able to get me off. We'll see, but I might have to bite my words. A massive day at the beach. It's very typical. Normally people have either a big Christmas lunch to attend or a Christmas dinner. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to my partner's house and sort of having a bit of a small affair, and we're going to go and enjoy some really good food and some good conversation and just taper off into the evening and enjoy the warm summer glow that is a beautiful Christmas evening here in Australia. What a lot of people don't realise is that this time of year, Christmas, New Year's, all happens at the very beginning of our big, long summer break. So that means that as a kid, these times were so valuable because it meant that we could spend 6 to 8 weeks off surfing, stuffing around, and then hanging out with the girlfriend. But also just preparing for the inevitable return back to academia.
Jason, my nephew, does this thing where you...
Another massive difference is the food that we consume in Australia for Christmas. I just want to dispel one very common myth: the shrimp on the barbie things. Please do not do that. First of all, these here, what do we call them?
They are called prawns.
Prawns, not shrimp. Do we put them on the?
Never. Fresh always, never on barbie.
Well, fresh. They're pre-cooked, but they're cold. It's too hot. Shrimp on the barbie.
Not on a 40-degree day.
Thank you.
Other Australian Christmas foods include lamb, ham, and turkey. Oh, and cherries. Cherries are a real Christmas food here. In my family, being super health conscious, we generally make some sort of raw, gluten-free dessert as well. In this case, it's a strawberry cake.
Did Santa ask Rudolph about the weather? Is it going to rain, dear?
As you get older, you realise more and more that Christmas isn't about the mythology, it's not about the presents, it's not about the food even, and it's not about the weather. It's actually about this. It's about the connection with family. It's about the conversation. It's about the fun times. It's about, dare I say it, the love. And that, I think, is something that is universal.
Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hopefully next year this time we will see you guys make your own video as well in Australia as well. Okay, so today's agenda we'll be going through the company's introduction, more on Australia skilled migration, Canada skilled migration, and any question and answer question if you guys have. Okay. So for AIMS Immigration, we have been around since 2016 November, and then we have expanded our footprint over 30 countries in Asia Pacific, and where we offer an entire suite of services from skill migration, business migration, investment migration, and passport programs and relocation services as well. So our mission and vision: to be a leading and reputable migration and relocation provider in Asia Pacific, recognized for our professionalism and service excellence. And our mission is to achieve client migration and relocation growth through our specialized and dedicated team. So our core value is push. Why do we use push? I think for migration, a lot of people do have that goal in mind, but they've always been procrastinating throughout time. So we hope we'll be able to push you guys in your migration efforts, so that you guys will be able to get there faster. Okay, so our overseas presence, we have offices in Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Manila, Hanoi, Yangon, Ho Chi Minh, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, Kuching, and also in Perth and Adelaide. So AIMS in 2020, currently we have about 300 migration professionals, 13 offices in 10 countries, migration to more than 20 destination countries, and we have helped over 18,000 families. So these are the countries we provide migrations to. So today we're going to talk a little bit more on Australia and Canada. Okay.
European countries also.
Yes, we do provide services to European countries as well. So these are our services, like I mentioned earlier on: skilled workers program, investors, student visas, corporate relocation, citizenship, family visas, employer sponsorship, and also entrepreneurs visas as well. So why choose AIM? We provide a full spectrum of services. We do have a dedicated consultant dedicated to you as well in your whole migration journey. We give professional advice and keep yourself up to date in terms of all the migration news, current migration news as well. And we have offices across Asia, so you could be in other countries as well, and we will still be able to assist you in your migration journey. So we're fully licensed with Australia under the Mara agent, and this one will be our migration agent registration number. All right. So for Canada, we are also we do have our lawyer in Quebec. Will be assisting us with the Canadian migration program. Okay. So for Canada and Australia, they both hold about 3 spots each out of the 10 spots in the most livable country index. So this survey rates cities worldwide into 5 general categories. You have stability, healthcare, culture, environment, education, and also infrastructure. So you can see Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, Sydney, Adelaide, and Melbourne are all in the top 10. Alright. So now I'm going to go a little bit more into Australia. So why Australia? Ease of doing businesses and equal employment opportunity. We have world-class education and also quality of life over in Australia. So for education-wise, if you are a PR or you're a foreigner, if you're in Victoria, it costs you about 11,000 a year for grade 6, age 5 to 11, for your children age 5 to 11. For age 12 to 15, you're looking at about 15,000, and for age 11 to 12, you're looking at 17,000. And throughout all this, you're looking to spend about 180,000 in total. But as a PR, school fees are free in Australia. So Australian healthcare as well. Average cost of C-section in Australia is 14,000, and regular birth is 9,000. So at a public hospital with medical care, the total cost would range about 0 to 1,005 Aussie dollars instead. And all medical consultations are free with medical care. So $1 onwards, when you have any issues or have any health conditions in Australia, they will be covered already. So salary in Australia, minimum wage in Australia is about $740 per week, and minimum hourly rate is $19. So as I think you guys will know as well, Australia do have the highest minimum wage out of all the countries that's there. Okay. Cost of living, pretty cheap as well. For a house, if you're looking at about a bungalow like that, it probably costs about 360,000. In Singapore, it's probably going to cost you 3.6 million. And a car, new car, going to cost you about 21,000 instead of one that probably costs you about 70 to 80K in Singapore. Right? So we'll be going through a little bit more into how we're going to help you guys with this Australian migration program. So we'll be going through something called the Australian General Skilled Migration. So there are a couple of visa types you're actually able to achieve via this program. There are 189 and 190. These are all permanent residency visa. And also you do have 491 as well, which is a provisional visa. So 491 is a provisional or regional visa. It is a 5-year visa. It allows you to work and live in the region area for 3 years to be eligible for a permanent visa through the subclass 191. And then also role swapping is allowed to transition to a PR visa. So if you are applying as a married couple, it could be you fulfilling all these requirements or your wife fulfilling the requirements. So it doesn't have to be you alone. So common criteria for Australia, you have to be between 18 to 44 years old. You do have a cutoff age at 45. You need to pass a skill assessment in your specific industry. Certified, competent English or higher. So there's a couple of English tests you're able to take: PTE, IELTS, or OET if you're in the healthcare profession. Satisfy the medical and character requirements, so your police clearance and your medical clearance, and also meet the passing mark of 65 in the points test. As long as you meet the passing mark of 65, you will be eligible. And this is the points test we're going through. So for age-wise, you have a range from 15 points to 30 points. The highest points that will be allocated is actually during the from 25 years old to 32 years old. For English language, you have competent, proficient, and superior. So each of them different under different tests, they'll have a different range of score as well. For qualification, if you have a PhD, you'll be given 20 points. Degree and masters will be 15, and then a diploma or trade certificate will be 10 points. And then with the overskilled employment, so anywhere outside of Australia. So if you are qualified, there will be 3, 5, and 8 years given respectively at 5, 10, and 15 points. So if you have worked in Australia in the last 10 years as well, you are given additional points. If you have worked 1, 3, 5, or 8 years, you'll be 5, 10, 15, and 20 respectively. So there are other factors that actually contribute to this whole point test as well. Study in Australia for full time. This has to be onshore, not offshore. Or you study in a regional area in Australia. So anywhere outside of the main cities as that. Accredited in a language test. So if you're able to translate English to your mother tongue and then your mother tongue back to English, you will be able to get additional points as well. So for single applicant, you do get additional 10 points. And if you're going with a spouse, your spouse will also have to comply with the English test and also the skill assessment that they will have to go through as well. So the maximum of 10 points given to them. So if you do have a state nomination, you'll be given 5 and 50 points respectively, depending on what visa type you're going for. Okay. So yes, so this is summary of different visa types and what you can do with it. So for 189 and 190, these are permanent residency visa. For 189, you are able to stay anywhere in Australia without any restriction to your stay. For 190, you will need to stay in the relevant state that actually sponsor you the extra points for 2 years minimum. And for 491, it's 3 years. Okay? So state sponsorship requirement, you do not need state sponsorship for this. You will need for 190 and 491, you do not need any as well. Relative and regional and relative sponsorship, none for the 189 visa and the 190 visa. You just need it for the 491 visa. Okay? And what you will get, all of it will be 5 years visa, 189 and 190 being permanent residency visa, and 491 being a provisional visa. Okay. So this is the timeline you'll be going through if you engage us as a consultant. So you will consult with AIMS in terms of the points test, your eligibility, and your chances of going over. After that, we will prepare your documents and skill assessment. So the time frame takes about 3 to 5 months for all this to happen. You will have, after all this is done, you will do your expression of interest. And if you need any state nomination or regional relative sponsorship, we will be helping you with all this documentation as well. And then lastly, when all this are done and you are given an ITA, which is an invitation to apply, you will start with your visa application, your medical clearance, and your police clearance as well. Okay. So benefits of a PR in Australia. For Australia, if you are having Australia PR, you're actually able to move to New Zealand and work and stay there. However, we cannot do the same for a New Zealand PR to Australia. So in Australia, you kind of have 2 PR for both countries actually. Alright, so that's roughly for Australia. I don't know if you guys have any questions. The consultant that will be assigned to you guys later on will go through with you guys more in detail. So now we'll be going through Canada. For Canada, in the last two draws, on the 15th of November and 18th November, they have there's been 5,000. It's the largest ever draw in history. So with all these, we are able to see that Canada are really serious on getting migrants over there. In the next slide, I'll give you a little bit more detail on what they are looking for, the total number of migrants they are looking at for the next 3 years. So as you can see here over here, for provincial nomination program, this is a special program that allows you to be sponsored by a province to give you additional points. So at 771, the additional point is actually 600 points. So a client or our customer, anybody with 171 points, will actually also be able to cross over to Canada. And this was pretty recent as well, a couple of months back on the 19th of August. So from the Canadian government website, the government of Canada now plans to support economic recovery through migration. And from 2021 to 2023, they are looking at an increase of 20% from 1 million migrants during the last during I think 1 year ago when they were announcing all these news, to now they increased the whole migration plan to 1.2 million. So there's a 20% increase in the people that are trying to look for the migrants to go over. Okay. So reasons for going over to Canada, I think the beautiful scenery that you will get there, high quality of education as well. So there's a research that shows that almost 50%, more than 50% of the Canadian citizens, they are graduates. They are at least finished their degree. Next, for your free world-class medical services as well. So same as Australia, you will be given free healthcare the moment you are a PR. Cost of living, pretty similar as well. A landed property over there probably costs about 320,000. In Singapore, as I said, about a couple billions minimally. And then for cars as well, you're probably looking at about 20,000 in getting a first-hand car. Getting a brand new car in Singapore, I can't say the same for that. So jobs in Canada are desperately looking to fill about 430,000 vacant jobs since 2018. Right. So now I'm going to go through the points test with you. So similarly to Australia, there will be a points test you need to fulfill for Canada before you will be qualified. So the first one is actually the Federal Skilled Workers Program points test. These are some of the factors they actually take into account when you are going through the test. You'll be looking at age, education, your English proficiency, work experience, arranged employment in Canada if there's any, and also your adaptability. So the current passing mark is 67 points. And if you pass this 67 points, you will be qualified for the program. So the main applicant has to be 18 years and above. So unlike Australia, there's age limit at 45, right? For Canada, they do not have an age limit. As long as you pass these 67 points, you will be qualified. Okay? So the main applicant has to have at least 1 year of continuous paid full-time work in the last 10 years under a NOC, which is your occupation, under OA, 0A or B, or equivalent part-time experience. So the main applicant must score at least 6 in all components for the IELTS. For Canada, there's a little bit different. They only accept IELTS general. So IELTS academic, PTE, OET, they are not recognized there. So you need to have at least 6 in each component. The main applicant must also have at least a high school diploma. Alright? The main applicant and dependent need to pass the medical clearance and also the police clearance and have a settlement fund depending on the number of people that's moving with you in that application. Okay. Main applicant, like I've mentioned, have to pass the 67 points before you guys will be qualified. Okay. After the test, after the Federal Skilled Workers Program Skilled Points test, there will be another score called the Comprehensive Ranking System. This is the one that actually indicates what are your chances of moving over and do you need a provincial nomination program to help you out. So these are the points that will be given to you. Like for age, if you are married, maximum points at 30 years old, 22 to 29 years old, you'll be given 100 points. For single applicant, 110 points. Level of education, PhD being the highest at 140 for married and 150 for single applicant. Official language proficiency, they go by CLB, which is Canadian Language Benchmark. So if you get a benchmark 10, you will get 128 for married and single applicant you get about 160. Canadian work experience as well. If you have been working in Canada, for at least a year, you will be given additional points as well. For spouse, you will be able to contribute with your level of education, your English proficiency, and also if you have worked in Canada before, you'll be able to help your partner to gain additional points. For skill transferability, if you have a post-secondary credentials of 1 year or longer, so if you have a degree, you will be given 25 points. For 2 or more, it usually comes in a combination of a degree and a diploma, or if you have a master's and above, you'll consider as 2 or more, you get 50 points if you score the CRB benchmark 9. For working experience, if you have 1 or 2 years of working experience, you get 25 points, and if you have 3 or more working experience, you will have 50 points. For additional points over in Canada, if you have relatives living over there, like brothers and sisters living in there, be it either a citizen or a permanent resident, you will get additional 50 points to your profile. If you are able to speak French, you will also get a maximum of 50. If you have studied in Canada as your diploma, degree, or in trade cert, you'll be given 30 points as well. And if you have arranged employment, you'll be given up to a maximum of 200 points. And if you need a provision nomination program, you'll be given an additional 60 points. A provision nomination program is akin to a 190 visa, where a state will sponsor you to go over with the additional points, and in return, you have to stay there for 2 years before you move anywhere else in Canada. Alright? So once you engage us, we'll be going through your education qualification and also your IELTS. After you've done both tests, we will go through your express entry. So we'll launch an EOI for you. After that, if you need the PNP application, we will do the application for you as well. We'll assist you along with all the documentation. And then once you have received your ITA, you will need to launch your visa application, your police clearance and medical clearance, and then lastly, you will get a visa grant. So this is an example of a visa grant for Canada. So it will show you the confirmation of your permanent residency over there. Okay. So Canadian citizenship or Canadian passport is one of the most powerful passport in the world. It's visa-free travel to about 171 countries. And to apply for this citizenship, it also has the least amount of time required to stay in Canada. For this citizenship, once you are staying there for PR for at least 3 years or 1,095 days, you will be able to apply for a Canadian Canadian citizenship. Right? So, any questions from the board? Any questions from you guys regarding Australia and Canada? Not for now. So thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you our Facebook followers, or Facebook viewers, our LinkedIn viewers, and also our Instagram viewers. So do follow us on this all these social media. All right. Hope to see you guys soon next time. All right. Bye bye.